I have to say, this isn't how I imagined Fodlan's three most powerful leaders would be coming together.
Indeed. I hesitate to even consider the look on Hubert's face right now.
I don't think anyone's too worried about me, though. Vanishing without a word is kind of what I do. Even now that I'm the king of the Federation, it looks like I'm as unreliable as ever.
Or perhaps it's the opposite, and your people think you reliable precisely because you always return. It must be nice having friends you can depend on to handle important matters in your absence.
And it must feel lousy to realize no one wants to do your job, Edelgard.
I'm glad to see your tongue remains as agile as ever. Let's try moving our feet instead, shall we?
Hey, I can do both if you want. It's definitely not an either-or kind of situation. So, Edelgard, say the four of us get out of here in one piece. What are you planning to do about Dimitri? Maybe we should join forces and take him on together.
You're such a bore sometimes, Claude. And is that a serious proposal?
Well, I suppose it would be easier for me if the kingdom stuck around. After all, I get the feeling that if we divide Fodlan between the Empire and the Federation, I'll be the one holding the short end of that stick. Our goal is to deal with Rhea and the Central Church, not to unify Fodlan.
You never have been one to mince words, have you? Well then, allow me to match your honesty. It would be more convenient for me if the kingdom ceased to exist. The Central Church has a much closer relationship with Fargus than with the other regions. Even were we to capture the Archbishop and force her to dismantle the upper echelons of the Church, it wouldn't be enough. The roots of that organization run deep.
Hold on. You're just looking to capture Rhea? You're not gonna, get rid of her?
Is it not enough to subdue a foe and remove them from power?
I'm just surprised. I would have expected you to be more thorough.
And here I thought you wanted to pursue a peaceful solution.
Hey, give me some credit. If I didn't like to rock the boat, Lester would have been swallowed up by the Empire ages ago. I have ambitions, Edelgard. Real ones. I won't go into details, but I'm definitely fighting to make them a reality.
All that, and you're not planning to enlighten me? Unreliable and stingy. I, for one, have no qualms with telling you my ambitions. I seek to destroy the irrational power structure that shackles Fodlan.
Just Fodlan, huh?
Come again?
Hey, don't get me wrong. That's a goal I can get behind. That's why we're working together. But I'd be grateful if my own ambitions can be fulfilled at the end of your path of conquest.
I'd like to believe that is possible. At least for now, we can work together to achieve a common goal. And perhaps someday our pact will become a more permanent one. I hope so, at any rate.
Same here. But before that, we need to find a way out of this place. Dimitri, we need to talk. I'm just going to come out and say it. After the war, I'm going to abolish the Central Church and depose the Archbishop. The people of Fodlan have been shackled by this decrepit system for too long, and I'm ending it.
You're going to do away with the church?
That's right. Think about it. Who steals your freedom and gives you an endless list of duties and obligations simply because you have a crest? Who forces you and your friends into a bunch of unwanted marriages and positions of power? The church even forbids any official contact with outside regions. Not exactly great for Fargus, right? Being as close to Serang and Albinia as you are.
But to be clear, your quarrel is with the church, yes? Not with Fargus itself?
Exactly. We have nothing to gain by fighting you. And really, our enemy isn't the actual church so much as the people at the top who make all the decisions.
I understand where you're coming from, Claude, and on a personal level, I actually agree with you.
But as a king, you're opposed.
Yes, for 3 reasons. First, abolishing the church would deny the king's right to rule Fargus. Without one, the people will descend into chaos and war. Would you be able to take responsibility for such a thing once it came to pass? Second, recklessly discarding the church will only incite discord among the clergy and its supporters. And finally, a revolution of this nature will not only mean casualties among the common folk, but will endanger your own life as well.
Leaving the first 2 for a second, I have some serious issues with that last one. I'm glad you're concerned for my safety, but I can take care of myself.
But don't you see? The people you wish to depose are human, just as you are. No matter what ingenious scheme you come up with, or how careful you try to be, they will suffer. And their vengeance will eventually find you, no matter how hard you try to stave it off. I know full well the guilt that accompanies such actions, and the retribution they provoke.
Everyone has to deal with the consequences of their decisions. If you let it rule you, Fodlan never changes. And if it doesn't change, it'll just fall apart.
But not taking the time to look where you're going will only lead you to stumble and fall. And if there are those who would be hurt by this, I consider it my duty to help them.
There you go, trying to save everyone again. You really are too good for me.
To be honest, I'm jealous of how you're not burdened with the same restrictions.
In the world I'm trying to create, you wouldn't be burdened by them either. You could even... No, forget that. I'm serious about what I said, though. And I really do admire how you want to save everyone. Honestly, if you weren't a king, I think we could have been friends.
I feel much the same. Had I joined with you, I might have been able to see a different vision of Fodlan.
We're beating the Empire in the smaller local battles, yes, but that barely puts a dent in their total power. We can fight all we want, but there's no defeating an army of that size. It may not be today or tomorrow, but that sea will swallow us up soon enough. Is it really responsible of me to keep letting the war drag on like this?
You okay there, Claude? Looks like you have something on your mind. You know, they say you'll get wrinkles if you keep your brow furrowed like that all the time.
Sounds like just the dignified look I need. People always tell me I'm not noble enough.
Oh, come on. Everyone knows young and lively is the way to be.
Really? It would sure be nice if the Round Table would propose strategies that are young and lively. They're all so conservative and selfish. I think a few lines here or there would actually help me fit in.
Really? You know what they say. If you're too set in your ways, it'll set on your face. So whatever you do, just make sure you don't end up some beady-eyed king with a face full of wrinkles.
I just can't win with you, can I?
I think you're missing the point, Claude. What I'm saying is, you should do what you think is right, with enough vigor to blow any creases clean off your face.
Hold on, do you even hear yourself right now? Who knows what would happen to the Alliance if I followed that advice?
You do have a point there. But at least you wouldn't have to worry about those pesky brow wrinkles anymore. And knowing you, Claude, I'm sure you'll find a way to break through this standoff.
You really do have me beat. I feel like you can see straight through me.
It's not hard when your thoughts are written so plainly on your face. All I have to do is read what's there.
Guess I'd better try scrubbing them off then.
As you should.
Honestly, Hilda, I don't know what to do. Is my way really the right path forward? It feels like I'm rejecting everything Lester used to be up until now. Like I'm tearing something important away from the people who need it most. Are you sure you won't regret lighting this fire in me?
I don't know. Maybe I will. I'll probably get mad at you at some point, too. But I know how hard you work to keep the Alliance heading in the right direction. You're the smartest leader we've ever had, Claude. If I was a betting girl, I'd say you're going to come up with the best plan ever, without a doubt. Hey, Claude.
Oh, Hilda, what's up?
Don't ask. It's just been one meeting after another lately, and they all drag on forever.
What, bored of them already? Can't say I disagree with you there. But we've taken the Alliance in a brand new direction as the Lester Federation. Of course, not everything has to change, but the things that do need to get decided soon. So it's only natural we have so many meetings, right?
I know. But if you ask me, these are more of a hassle than any round table ever was. Honestly, Claude, I never thought you'd end up as our king. It's kind of weird, you know?
Well, I had a lot of opinions coming at me from all different directions, and this ended up being the solution I came up with. Hard times like these call for more than the Round Table was ever capable of. We need a fierce leader willing to face the world.
I get what you're going for, but having that leader be a king, I don't know, it makes me uncomfortable.
I get it. But trust me, everything I'm doing right now is what needs to be done.
Hey, Claude, is this really what you wanted? To be the king of Lester? You always struck me as the kind of guy who went wherever the wind took him, a free spirit. Someone who would find someone else to lead and nag them into taking the job. But right now, I get the feeling that your role and everything that comes with it are keeping you tied down.
No, I wanted to rule. I'm sure of that. But I didn't realize that's how you saw me.
Claude, you're not alone. We're here for you. Yet off you went, taking the throne all by yourself. Were we just getting in your way?
Of course not. It's honestly because I have you all that I was able to make that decision. I know I'd never be standing where I am now without the support each and every one of you has given me.
If that's true, then you shouldn't be so afraid to ask us for help. I'm more reliable than I look, you know.
Right. I'll be sure to take you up on that, Hilda. I mean, I did think I was already doing it, but I guess it wasn't enough.
Oh, definitely not. You've got a lot to learn from me, Claude. I'm practically an expert at relying on people for help.
Nobody tops you in that regard, that's for sure. I'd be honored to have you as my teacher. Sorry for the wait, Lawrence. So, what is it you wanted to talk about? Ooh, don't tell me. Is it about a girl?
No. you, I wish to discuss the consequences of your strategy at the Great Bridge of Myrden.
Oh, that. If it's an apology you want, I'll say it as many times as I need to, both to you and your father. My plan left a cloud of treason hanging thick over the Honorable House Gloucester. I'm sorry, Lawrence.
Please, I have already accepted your apology. And besides, did my father not agree to your scheme? Luckily, my own person remains unsullied, and I will soon remedy the blemishes on my family name. You have my word.
If that's not it, then what do you want to talk about?
There is something I wish to confirm with you. A matter regarding the future of the Leicester Alliance. Can we really trust you, Claude? I have no qualms admitting that your work has freed the Alliance from a number of tight situations. And yet, I have never been able to fully place my trust in you. The same is true even now. Were it as simple as choosing to believe, I would do just that. But this situation makes me uneasy. Day after day, I find myself forced to rely on a man with unclear roots and even more unclear intentions.
Your tongue's as sharp as ever, Lawrence. But I can't say I don't get where you're coming from. I wouldn't trust me either in your shoes. If I were you, I wouldn't let my loved ones touch a guy like me with a 10-foot poleaxe, let alone count on me to keep them safe.
You are quick to disparage yourself.
Yeah, maybe I took it a little far there. I mean, I'm not that bad, am I? Still, I'm not all-knowing or all-powerful like the goddess is. There's no way for me to know what the future might hold. Which means there's only one thing I can do. Stack my deck with as many cards as I can so we're ready for anything that comes our way. But on that front, the possibilities are kind of endless. No matter how many tricks I've got in my pocket, there's still this lingering worry I just can't shake. That's what I meant by not being able to trust myself. I feel like I'm constantly walking this tightrope with no clear end in sight. Lawrence? Are you even listening? If you were any quieter, I think you'd have died on the spot.
I am present, yes. I was just so shocked to hear you voice your anxieties that I struggled to find words. Could this be another of your schemes? What do you hope to gain by deceiving me so?
Whoa, slow down there. You're the one who brought this whole thing up, remember? Kinda rude to react like that after I go and spill my heart out to you, don't you think?
Forgive me, I seem to have lost my presence of mind entirely. I fear I may be entering a state of shock.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
Claude, I am well aware that we Leicester nobles will be cooperating with the Imperial forces moving forward. But House Gloucester has always prided itself on an amicable relationship with the Empire. This changes little for us.
I guess you're right. Your father did head up the pro-imperialist faction, after all.
Yes, until your wicked schemes severed their ties.
Do you really have to bring that up again? I thought I apologized for that.
I am simply stating the truth. If such words ring out as criticism to your ear, perhaps your conscience is the problem. But what I mean to say is, my house already had the foresight to do this previously. Your actions now are mere imitation.
I can see your point, though the logic is a bit forced.
It naturally follows that House Regan does not deserve to sit upon the Federation's throne. No, the people yet yearn for their rightful rulers, House Gloucester.
I'm pretty sure that's just your ego talking. I don't think people really feel that way.
Do not misunderstand. I am not opposed to your being king, for the moment at least. But your reign was granted by a round table conference, not blood, making you nothing more than an appointed monarch. and a temporary one, if I may. House Regan does not hold this position by birthright, and it will not stay with you in the future. No, the next to be put forth as king will be, why, of course it shall be, me, Lawrence Helman Gloucester. Some even propose I ascend the throne immediately if you begin to teeter toward ruin.
Yeah, you're really letting your ego run wild here. But I have to admit, the idea of a non-hereditary monarchy does sound interesting.
Doesn't it, though? My capacity for such thoughts is proof enough that I am suited to be king.
But I can't stand to think about going back to making that decision via round table. It'd be no different from how we used to do things in the Alliance.
Oh? Then how will we decide?
How about letting the people of Leicester choose? Left to their own devices, they'd probably pick whoever they thought would be the best able to protect them. Sounds pretty good, huh?
A preposterous suggestion. Is this in earnest? Though, such a method would prove a great boon for House Gloucester. The common folk in our territory have the utmost trust in us, after all.
And for once, I think that's fact, not ego talking. You do realize it would be the whole of Leicester choosing, though, right?
Not a problem. Our just rule is known far and wide through every mountain and ravine of Fodlan, I think. But let us set that matter aside for now. That is not what I came here to tell you. You should know, the role of king within the Federation is as of yet unstable. Proceed with caution, lest it all come crashing down around you.
You're right. Unlike the Empire to our south and Kingdom to our west, the goddess's guidance didn't grace the founding of our Federation. So the role of king is a fragile one, held aloft only by the people supporting them. I'll be careful, just as you say. And thank you, Lawrence. I think I might just get through this with my wits intact if I have you here next to me.
Please do not get the wrong idea. I simply do not wish to see my beautiful home succumb to the foul clutches of despair.
Of course, of course. And I hope you keep coming to me to voice all your complaints. I'll be counting on you, Lawrence.
That's a tasty looking roast you've got there, Claude. Where'd you get it?
Oh, hey, Raphael. I nabbed it from the base we took over the other day. No big deal. Plus, it's about to go bad, so there's no point in trying to ration it out to the troops. Meaning?
You're giving it to me! Oh, yes!
Hold on there, big guy. Nobody can eat all of this alone, not even you. I was actually thinking we could all feast on it together. Want to help me cook it?
You bet I do! Might mean my stomach goes a little emptier, but feasting with the whole team adds a spice like no other. Just leave the rest to me. I'll kick this meat party off in style.
Hey, make sure you take it to the mess hall. Is he even listening to me? Wow, this looks incredible. Color me impressed, Raphael.
Well, you said it was about to go bad, right? I had to grill it up as quick as I could.
I mean, it wasn't going bad in a matter of minutes, but this is a huge help. Thanks. Weird. It felt like that was more than we could ever finish, but just mention food to the crew and it's gone in an instant.
Too bad, too. I was thinking I could split any leftovers we had with Maya and my grandpa.
Doesn't it take days to get here from where they are? It would definitely have started rotting by then. Besides, this isn't really the chapter in history you want an old man and a child going out for a stroll.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Still, I hope that day comes soon.
Huh?
A time when we can invite your grandfather and sister over for banquets whenever we want. A time when it's not so dangerous for them to travel. Not that any of that'll be possible so long as this war keeps dragging on.
That's it, Claude! That's it!
Whoa! What's all the yelling for?
This meal was amazing, yeah. But a little voice in the back of my mind kept saying something was missing. And now I know what it is! Once the land's at peace again, we're gonna have a huge party with Maya and my grandpa and everyone! After all, you can't savor a meal if you've got thoughts of war rolling around in your head.
Yeah, I think you're right. A banquet we can throw in peacetime is far better than one we have to put on hold due to the conflict. But in order to make that dream a reality, we'll need to create a future where the wild animals share their game instead of fighting over it.
Game? As in game meat? You have more?
Sorry, just a metaphor for the eagles and lions, always at each other's throats. As for us deer, we're content with leaves. But where should we forage next? Hey there, Ignatz. What are you up to?
Oh, Claude. I was just admiring the scenery. I come here sometimes to bask in the embrace of unfettered natural beauty. Stunning, isn't it? I find being in the environment like this to be quite calming.
You can say that again. My favorite napping spot's always been right under a nice, shady tree.
Well, it does sound comfortable.
Ignatz, you always wanted to be a painter, right?
Huh? Well, yes, but how did you know that?
Oh, easy. I've got you all figured out, my friend. All your secrets, your worries, everything. Kidding, of course.
Right.
Really, it wasn't too hard to piece together. I heard you haven't always wanted to be a knight. And seeing you take in the world the way you do, there was only one possibility. You dreamed of being a painter, but gave it up before you could ever make it a reality.
My father wished that I become a knight, yes. But the decision to actually do so was mine alone. That's enough of that, though. What demands our attention most in this moment is the instability among the Alliance nobles. As a knight, I must do whatever I can to help alleviate the situation.
You're right. The whole Alliance has been in complete chaos ever since Shahid attacked. We'll need the unified support of all the noble families if we want to make it through this. But things aren't going quite the way they should.
I really wish there was more I could do to help.
In that case, how about we send you on a reconnaissance mission?
What?
It's simple. You go to all sorts of different places, maybe scout out a few towns, and take note of everything you see and hear while you're there. Sounds like the perfect job for you, doesn't it?
Are you sure I'm the right person for it?
Of course I'm sure. I want you to travel the world, Ignatz. See the wonders it has to offer with your own two eyes.
You know, I thought my dream of becoming a painter was nothing more than dust in the wind. That giving up was my only path forward in life. But you've shown me that isn't how it has to be. Once this war is over, I'll do whatever it takes to make it a reality again.
As you should. What kind of dream would it be if you just abandoned ship the moment one little thing knocked you off course?
Thank you, Claude. Once I'm a full-fledged painter, I'll be sure to do a wonderful portrait of you. I promise.
Sounds good to me. Oh, and make sure it's extra grand so that it'll survive for centuries to come.
Yes, of course.
Hey, Lysithea, you have a minute? There's something I need to talk to you about.
Fine, you can have 1 minute. I might not look it, but I'm actually pretty busy here.
Don't I know it? I can't remember the last time I saw you take a break. Anyway, I'll keep it quick. It's about what happened in our last fight. Charging it head first like that isn't like you, Lysithea, and not in a good way.
And what, in your expert opinion, makes it so unlike me? All I did was end the battle in the quickest, most efficient way possible. Which in turn kept damages to a minimum. If anything, you should be thanking me.
It worked this time, sure. But there was a good chance it could have failed, too. You shouldn't leave things up to fate like that. If things hadn't gone your way, you could have lost your entire unit. You and your soldiers alike would be at the feet of the goddess right now. My point is, you need to make decisions based on strategy, not chance. I thought someone as smart as you would understand that.
Yes, that's enough lectures for today. I know what I'm supposed to be doing. But had my unit not rushed in, the battle would have dragged on for far too long. The fighting would have surely raged into the next day. We would have had to revisit our tactics entirely if the enemy changed formations at daybreak. And if things had gone south from there, it could have taken us more days further to finish the battle. I won't insist I made the right decision, but don't imply I didn't consider the possibilities. I was always fully aware that we could fail.
But failure didn't even have to be an option. Sure, the battle dragging on would have had an impact on the war at large. But so what? In the grand scheme of things, your life is far, far more valuable than a few measly days of combat. Please, Lysithea, I need you to promise me you won't put yourself in danger like that again.
I'm sorry. I can't do that.
You know, it's not just your own life you're rolling the dice with. Every single soldier you command would die with pride by your word.
So, you're saying I fail as a leader? Yes, maybe I do. Well, feel free to remove me from my post if you don't think I should be commanding troops. That's wholly within your right. Do what you will. Until then, I'm going to do what I will. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Sheesh. I don't know what's up with her, but I can't help if she's going to be that stubborn about it. Either way, it doesn't seem like she's changing tunes anytime soon. Guess I'll just have to do what I can to keep her safe in the meantime.
Claude, there's something I need to discuss with you.
Sure, but keep it short. I know I don't look it, but I'm actually pretty busy here.
Are you making light of how I usually respond to your requests?
Hey, don't be like that. It's just a joke. We can talk for hours if you want. I've got all the time in the world.
There's no need. I'm simply passing on a message from my father.
Count Ordelia, huh? Go ahead, I'm all ears. I guess it's no surprise he has a word or two to say to the king. I mean, first the Imperial invasion, now all this unrest sweeping across the land. None of this would have happened if I'd just kept a closer eye on those who slither in the dark.
Hold on. I think you have the wrong idea. My father doesn't want to complain to you. He'd actually like to thank you for bringing the fight with the kingdom to an end, and for rushing to quell the chaos in our territories. He also said he's willing to offer his full cooperation with any of your Majesty's policy proposals. All you need to do is say the word.
I appreciate that. His broad-mindedness has always proven a great help.
Then consider my message delivered. But please, don't put more of a burden on him than necessary. Anxiety has tormented his mind for years now, and he's recently started finding his body less and less willing to cooperate with his brain.
So I've heard. Don't worry, I won't ask any more of him than what's absolutely essential.
Thanks, Claude. I'll do the work of 100 others in my father's place.
Hey, slow down there. You already do too much as it is. Piling more on top of that is just gonna crush you.
And yet, I need to do it all the same. I can't let myself fall behind the other Lester nobles. Most importantly, I need to put an end to this war, so I can start thinking about how to bring peace and stability back to House Ordelia's territory.
I get where you're coming from, but everyone needs a break now and then. Your body's probably screaming at you to get some rest.
I'm all right. While it's true my lifespan is slated to be short, it's not like I'm gonna just drop dead out of the blue. I'm just as healthy as I've ever been, I assure you.
You look fine enough, sure. But there's something lingering beneath the surface weighing you down, isn't there? Something the rest of us can't see. Your body's bound to give out if you keep pushing your limits without taking some time to recuperate.
But
listen, my Scythia, I want this war to end just as fast as you do. And once it does, I'm going to settle the score with those who slither in the dark. In other words, it's in your best interest to stick with me. So consider this an order from your king. Stop fighting like you don't have a tomorrow to live for. I mean, I'm still going to need plenty of help once the war is over. I can't have you kicking the bucket before the real fun starts, okay?
understood. If it's an order from His Majesty himself, I guess I don't have much of a choice. Now, if you'll excuse me, I know I don't look it, but I'm actually pretty busy here.
Does she really understand, though? At any rate, I'd better put this war to bed as soon as possible.
What should I do?
Something wrong, Marianne? What's up? You know, I make a great stand-in for the goddess if you're looking for someone to talk to.
Oh,
Sorry, I wasn't really planning on eavesdropping. I was just passing by and couldn't help but overhear.
No, I'm the one who should apologize.
Don't worry about it. So, you want to tell me what's going on? Is that a letter you've got there?
Oh, yes. From my adoptive father. It's quite unusual for him to send me anything.
You don't seem too happy about it. Mind if I take a look? If that's not too weird, I mean.
Sure. Here.
All right, let's see what we have here. I see. Now that the nobles of Leicester have moved forward with their show of unity, I believe it time for House Edmund to make its intentions clear as well. I think I get how your father feels. Both Duke Goneril and Count Gloucester have passed their titles down to their heirs. If I had to guess, I'd say he wants to do the same with you.
But the thought of me leading House Edmund is simply too much to bear.
I don't know if I'll ever become the ruler he wants me to be.
Not knowing what the future holds can be pretty nerve-wracking, I'll give you that. I remember going through the exact same song and dance myself.
Huh? You mean even someone like you can be crippled by worry?
Yep, I'm human too, you know. Oh, but there was this one little thing I found that made all my troubles disappear into thin air. Just poof, gone.
One little thing?
Mm-hmm. And I think you have it too, Marianne.
I do? But what is it?
It's called resolve. And I get the feeling you've lost sight of yours.
What do you mean?
I know all about the power your crest holds. There's no need to hide it. The only thing you need now is the willpower to back that up. So if you want help finding it, I'd be glad to lend a hand.
I see. Thank you, Claude. I think I've already found it because of you.
What's wrong, Leonie? Bad day of hunting got you down?
Come on, Claude. You and I both know bad days don't happen to me. I was just thinking about the situation Lester finds itself in right now.
That's an unusual topic coming from you. Go on.
You know how both Regan and Gloucester territories have been the site of some pretty serious battles during this war? Well, I had the chance to talk to some people who live there, and it turns out their crops for the year are suffering because of it. Some villages even had their fields completely trampled in the struggle, which, yeah, if that doesn't delay your fieldwork, I don't know what will. Turns out that a lot of them are blaming the leader of the Alliance for what happened, though.
No surprise there. It was my decision to go to war with the Empire, after all. Were it up to me, Lester would never see the flames of battle on its lands again. But things don't always work in absolutes. Now that you mention it, how's Sawin doing? The area managed to stay pretty safe, right?
Thankfully, yeah.
Good. I know you'd be worried to death if something happened to your home.
Hey, Claude? If I'm being honest, I don't really care much about this war, or what kind of relationships the different regions end up having with each other. But I can get behind the future you're fighting for. It's a good one. I can feel it in my gut. Though, that's kinda all I have to go on since I didn't get the education some of the others did.
I appreciate that, Leonie. And I get that you don't really care about a lot of this stuff. The one thing that matters most in the life of a commoner is what tomorrow's harvest is going to look like. I know that. But those people will get caught in the web I'm spinning for the future all the same. They won't have a choice but to fight.
But
I know. If we don't fight, more and more innocent people will get struck down as collateral. Even so, there will be sacrifices no matter how much or how little we struggle. And most of those will end up being commoners. I hope you stay on my side all the same, Leonie. And not just for your raw strength as a mercenary. I could use your perspective, too.
my perspective?
Think about it. You met the farmers in our land eye to eye and found out they were upset with me. I could never do that. Not in the position I'm in now.
I guess you're right.
That's why these kinds of things don't get addressed. They never even reach my ears. So I want you to help amplify their voices. Help me hear what the people have to say. As the ruler of Leicester, this is my #1 priority. It's even more important to me than winning the war.
And I'm more than glad to help you accomplish it. You know,
You're really not like your run-of-the-mill noble. With a guy like you leading the Alliance, Lester will be a better place. I just know it.
So, Holst's leading the soldiers' drills himself, eh? And everyone looks to be way more into it than usual. That's Holst for you, all right.
My ears are burning, my lord.
Holst, wow, what a surprise. I was just watching your drills. Everyone looks so spirited, probably because they know you're keeping an eye on them.
So the soldiers aren't so enthusiastic with others? Training is only meaningful if it emulates true battle. Without tension, it's little more than exercise. We'll need to improve our methods at once.
Let's cut them a little slack. It's not like they're all goofing around when you're not there. It's just that everyone gets a tiny bit more excited when they get to see you in the flesh. You're Lester's living legend, the powerful warrior who accomplishes feats of undaunted heroism without even a crest to help him. And they get to train and fight with you? Seriously, it's probably the biggest thrill of their lives.
You have quite the gift for flattery. But someone like me is nothing when compared to the 10 elites. Of course, I wouldn't walk away from that fight empty-handed. Even unaided, I bet I could take a limb or two before the end.
If you can keep up with the 10 elites, I'll need to invent some even more impressive flattery. But I meant what I said about the troops. Honestly, I feel the same excitement just standing next to you.
Then it was worth my coming here. Still, I believe that you inspire far more trust and enthusiasm than I do. The Alliance would never have come together like this if that weren't the case.
If only it would have. A little solidarity would go a long way for us. Anyway, thanks again, Holst. It's much appreciated.
I'm just doing my job as the heir to House Goneril. All I do is for the sake of the Lester Alliance. Though, even more importantly, Hilda stands at your side. That alone is enough to keep me near at hand.
It sounds like I need to thank Hilda instead then.
It couldn't hurt to do so, but also keep her safe. As you know, I've sworn to protect Fodlan's throat, with my very life if need be. So if the Almirans turn their attentions to it, I'll have no choice but to return there at once.
And if that happens, we'll be right there with you to drive them back. Call it a gut feeling, but I suspect their next attack will be a battle that changes Fodlan's fate forever.
I know you're busy, Your Majesty, but do you have a moment? It's important.
If it's really important, I have all the moments in the world. What's this about? There are so many possibilities, I can't even guess.
As you are well aware, we've cast away Lester's old alliances and begun anew as the Federation. And we've now joined forces with the Empire to overthrow the kingdom and dissolve the Central Church.
You're happy with all that, right?
Of course, Your Majesty. I would even go so far as to say I'm your greatest supporter.
I appreciate that. I feel much more secure in my position as king knowing I have your support.
I am fully confident you'll be able to fulfill our goals in this war, but my question concerns what happens after that. You say you want to remove the Church's authority from Fodlan and build society anew.
That's right. The systems that currently bind Fodlan were all created by the Church to serve their own interests. Now, I won't say they're all bad in and of themselves, but ultimately, they exist to maintain the authority of the Church of Seiros. and so long as we revere them, Fodlan will never be able to move forward. Do you agree?
Let me make sure I understand. When this war is over, you wish to step back and reevaluate both the existing system of nobility and our manner of faith. And you also wish to establish relations with people from other lands and those who follow other faiths. Is that accurate?
Exactly. I want to knock down the walls that keep us closed in. See, I knew you'd get it.
Does this also extend to Fodlan's throat? Will you throw open its gates and look to establish a friendly relationship with the Almirans?
Yes, of course. It will depend on how they respond to our overtures, but that's what I'm hoping for.
And what of House Goneril, a family long seen as the enemy of the Almirans? Would you send its only daughter to form a marital bond with the Almiran royal family? Is that a possible scenario?
Huh? Are we talking about Hilda?
Our house has no other daughters.
Ah, okay, I see where this is going. Don't worry, Holst. I may be the king of Leicester, but I've no interest in also being a royal matchmaker.
But what if the next king of Almira turns out to be a kind and decent man? What if Hilda even likes him?
If Hilda wants to marry that hypothetical heartthrob, I'm not gonna stop her. Look, what's all this really about?
Apologies. My imagination ran free for a moment. If that is what Hilda wants, then I will not stand in her way either.
Your imagination's definitely still running there.
I'm just as worried about Hilda's future as I am about Leicester's. Maybe even more so.
I completely understand, so let me just say this. I believe that both Leicester's and Hilda's futures are as bright as they can be. All I ask is that you trust me.
I shall take your words firmly to heart. All I ask in return, Your Majesty, is that you continue to safeguard my sister, no matter what may come.
You got it. And, wow, you're really serious about this, Holst.
Once again, I have accomplished a most triumphant feat. Behold, my awe-inspiring talent! From these hands is new magic born. But I mustn't rest on my laurels quite yet. Nay, I must aim for ever more spectacular heights!
Hey, Constance, you got a second?
Claude, of all people, you may enter.
Up to some of your old experiments, huh? Perfect timing.
How dare you speak of me as though I am some non-entity to be slotted into your schedule?
Whoa, okay. Hang on. I just heard you were researching some interesting magic.
Ha ha ha! You have heard correctly! I have created a new spell which can affect both the style and length of one's hair! There is no questioning this heralds a revolution that will sweep all of Fodlan!
Revolutions aside, that sounds like an incredible spell. Care to give me a little demonstration? This is great. If I can change my hairstyle at will, I'll be able to slip out of all kinds of sticky situations.
Of course! And you shall be my first test subject!
Your first? Hold on. This idea's not sounding quite so clever anymore.
Take this!
Did it work?
Beyond my wildest imaginings! Why, your hair is now more resplendent than ever!
I appreciate the sentiment, but I still don't know... Wait, why is my head hard? Ow! It's so sharp it hurt my hand. I really don't think this hairstyle's gonna catch on. I look like an angry cat that fell into a bathtub.
And now you know what it means to be ahead of your time. Unconventional though it may be, your hairstyle is objectively flawless.
This isn't exactly ideal for keeping a low profile. I couldn't even wear a hat without tearing right through the thing.
Inconceivable! You are given the rare honor of being the subject of my magic, yet all you can think to do is whinge and complain. If that is to be your response, why did you rush to my side the moment I completed the experiment?
Yeah, I guess things turned out a bit differently than I'd been led to believe. Still, it is some pretty incredible magic. I doubt anyone else could even come close.
You sound as though you're consoling me, yet I have not failed in the slightest.
No, I'm not calling it a failure per se. It's just that the applications might be rather,
You will come to rue those words. So, you've arrived, Claude. I pray you are ready.
Okay, no need to start off with a bunch of yelling. And, what should I be ready for, exactly?
The day has finally come. The day for you to be thunderstruck by the selfsame magic you once so viciously mocked.
The magic? The magic. Oh, you mean that hair-raising one you used on me?
No, that is not the purpose. It is meant for changing the length and style of hair.
Right, sure. So what about it again?
Ugh, your droll lack of enthusiasm boggles the mind. Do you understand just how much I devoted myself to my studies since that day of shame? Also, I might have some vindication?
Okay, wait, look, I know you're a hard worker, but that was just, one of those things. I don't really think you need vindication.
Silence, cretin! Let your jaw hang slack in its moorings as you witness how my magic has evolved!
Whoa! You got me again. Well, at least I'm not sharp and pointy this time.
You most certainly are not. Do you truly think me the type to make the same mistake twice? It has been quite the gauntlet of trial and error, yet finally I have arrived. I stand now on the fresh new ground of magic, the magic of gentle tresses tumbling over one's shoulders.
Say, this does come in nicely at the ends. Some parts longer, some shorter. Whoa, but it's really frizzy. It's like a bird's nest up in here.
What an exquisite style! What an innovative look! Truly, this is the most striking of spells!
And I guess I have a fluffy beard now? Well, that's certainly something.
Yes, and it makes you appear quite unkempt. Perhaps it is not the look for you.
Hey, don't laugh it off. What am I supposed to do about this mountain man beard, huh? Last time you zapped me, my hair was stiff enough to stab through armor for an entire day. I couldn't even get to sleep because I shredded my pillow. Are you saying I've just got to grin and bear this until it wears off?
At this point, there is nothing else I can do. You can endure this for one day, no? If it helps, I am willing to offer my moral support.
If only this wasn't Fodlan.
And what is so wrong with Fodlan?
Just that a manly beard like this would be considered a real accomplishment in the East. Your magic would be praised to the heavens if you went out that direction.
Then my magic can transcend borders? You finally understand the extent of my talent!
No, it's just that this kind of beard here in Fodlan... Okay, she's not listening.
Sun's up already? Good morning.
Whoa! Happy, is that you? Where are you? I'm surprised you knew I was here. You just about gave me a heart attack with that impromptu good morning.
I wasn't exactly saying it to you, Claudester, but... Oh, never mind.
So, you're waking up with the sun, huh? I love it. You're like a step dweller.
And what would that be exactly?
Oh, you know, those folks who live to the east of Fodlan.
But you're also awake. Does that mean you're a step dweller like me?
Hey, my motto is the early bird gets the worm.
Sounds fake.
Oh, but I said it in my most earnest voice.
And your face betrayed you. Still, it's surprising how easy you are to talk with. I figured the leader of the Alliance would be an arrogant blowhard, but that's not you at all. You're a lot more comfortable to be around than the Emperor or the King of Fargus.
Not sure if that's a compliment, but it's definitely not easy leading the Alliance. I could spend days unloading my troubles on you and only scratch the surface.
Sounds like you've got your hands full. Also, please don't unload your troubles on me.
Don't worry, I won't.
Still, if it's that much grief, why not quit? You could have someone else take your place if you hate it so much. I mean, it's not like you're a king with a lineage to consider.
Sure, I suppose I could do that. But that's not the path for me at the moment. The list of things I want to accomplish is as long as my arm, and if I want to see them become a reality, I've got a lot of work ahead of me.
Well then, I guess you've got my support. I mean, all these heady thoughts and ideas are a bit above the level of yours truly. But I can still give support. So, chin up, Claudester. It's all gonna work out. Someone I knew used to say that. A relative, I think? I can't really remember.
Well, I appreciate it regardless. It's exactly the kind of thing I need to hear right now.
In that case, I'll double down. It's all gonna work out.
It sounds even better the second time. Seriously, you should be telling that to everyone you meet.
There you go again, putting others first. Yeah, well, it's all gonna work out, Claudester. I just have a feeling.
The strategy meeting is complete chaos today. Well, we have a little time, so if they want to argue until they're blue in the face, I won't stop them. But I am going to sneak out and find something to nibble on because I'm starving. Okay, there must be some fruit here. Huh?
Hey, Claudester.
Hey, Happy. Aren't you supposed to be in the meeting?
Yeah, but I got hungry and slipped out.
I didn't even notice you leave. You're even more slippery than I realized.
Well, it's not like the meeting will unfold differently if I decide to stick around. And since I'm not the only one who skipped out, I guess folks will have to be mad at us together.
Ha! Guilty as charged.
Still, the implications are different for me than they are for the great King Claudester. If someone gets mad at me, it's no big deal. But you probably get the wrath of everyone raining down on you for even the slightest misstep.
Sad but true.
Hey, so I know you love to run out and do stupid stuff like this sometimes. But did you take on all this responsibility because you wanted to? Or would you walk away if you found someone to take your place?
I already told you. There's a huge list of things I want to see accomplished, remember? And sure, it's a heavy burden, but that's all the more reason I can't let someone else shoulder it for me. It's up to me to carry my own water here.
Then I guess it's not enough for me to just give you my support.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not really carrying anything at the moment, water or otherwise. So I was thinking it might be nice to take some of the load from you.
Just because you aren't as overloaded as me doesn't mean you don't have commitments. I don't know how I feel about burdening you with my, burdens.
Sure, but if you keep it to yourself and it crushes you, that doesn't help me either. I'm not as weak as you think I am.
Well, no matter what, it's all gonna work out.
It definitely will.
You know what? Maybe I'll take you up on that offer of help after all.
Whatever you need.
In that case, I'll start off with a tough one. How do we handle the fact we skipped out on the strategy meeting?
Well, I can't take that off your shoulders, so I'll stand there and take the scolding with you.
Scolding, huh? You called it the wrath of everyone like a minute ago.
Hey, Claude. Looks like you had another one of those meetings. You finally finished?
For today, yeah. But we're picking up right where we left off tomorrow.
That's a lot of talking. What could possibly call for that much discussion?
Well, first, we need to settle on a direction for the Alliance. And then come all the pesky little details. All responsibilities need to be doled out fairly, but each territory has different resources and different circumstances, So it's tricky to figure out what's really fair. There's no one answer that works across the board.
But you're their leader. Can't you just make a bunch of decisions and get it over with?
No can do, I'm afraid. I may be the leader, but I'm still just one of the 5 great lords. Sure, I may be the idea man, but I don't have the authority to enforce anything on my own. On top of all that, most nobles are experts at focusing on what's good for their own territory instead of what would benefit the Alliance as a whole. When priorities clash, the debates just go around and around in endless circles. Makes me wonder if we'll ever reach a consensus on anything.
Hold on. Do you really think you'll win the war like this? You'll always be on the defensive if you can't act decisively.
I hear you, believe me. The process works much better in times of peace, but since we're at war, it's frustrating to say the least. What's worse is that it's near impossible to get a read on the situation. I don't have the foggiest idea how we're going to overcome this. Say, mind if I pick your brain? What would you do in my shoes?
What, me? Well, I guess I'd... You gotta just give him a nice whoosh. Deal with him that way.
Uh-huh. Whoosh. You care to spell that one out for me?
What I'm saying is, why not just get rid of all the talking?
You mean get rid of the Alliance's council altogether?
Exactly. If you give yourself more authority, then it won't take as long to make decisions. It doesn't even have to be permanent. You could go back to the old way once things are peaceful again. But I guess that wouldn't go over too well with the other nobles, huh?
Actually, I think you're onto something. Can't say it hasn't crossed my mind before. If folks at the Round Table just keep looking out for their own territory's interests, we'll be in a world of hurt if the Alliance is ever invaded. I just wish they could see that.
Whoa, are you seriously considering it, Claude?
Of course. Unfortunately, the possibility of it actually happening right now is basically zero. But you've given me a lot to chew on. Let's do this again sometime.
Just say the word.
Hey there, got time for a little chat?
I do, but don't you kind of have a lot going on right now? Oh, I should probably be using your title now, shouldn't I? Since you're a king and all, your majesty.
Call me whatever you want. I'm still the same Claude.
I was shocked when I heard you were going to be the king of Leicester. I never imagined you'd be able to unify the Alliance and make it all official.
Hey, it was your idea. Don't tell me you forgot.
Sorry, it's not ringing any bells.
Seriously? Wow. Guess that's just you being you, though, come to think of it. You said that the Alliance should get rid of the Round Table system so we could act more decisively.
Oh yeah, I did say that. But I didn't expect you to remake the whole Alliance as a federation, whatever that is.
Alliance, Federation, they're the same thing with different names. I just established something new to get rid of the old system.
I guess it makes sense when you put it that way.
You're a strange one, you know that? I find myself actually wanting to open up to you. It's probably because you don't seem to have any strings attached. Makes it easy to talk to you.
Yeah, I'm just a wandering mercenary. All my life, I've never had many relationships to speak of.
Right. You were taken in pretty young, weren't you?
Yeah, I don't remember any of it, but that's what my mom told me.
The lady who raised you, what kind of person was she?
How do I put it? It was like she could do anything. She taught me all sorts of stuff. We lived in a small village deep in the mountains. It was a humble life, and I didn't interact much with the other villagers. And one day, my mom suddenly got sick and passed away, and I was booted out of the village. I had to use everything she taught me just to stay alive after that.
So, you were left to face the world all alone after they kicked you out, huh?
The whole time, yeah. I became a mercenary. The groups I joined didn't last for long, so I ended up drifting from one place to the next. And that's how I ended up like this, completely untethered.
I see. You know, I think I understand you a little better now.
Though I suppose I can't say for certain that I don't have any connections.
You mean your power?
Yeah. I still have no idea what it actually is or who my real parents are.
Just remember that no matter what you find out, it won't change who you are. Just like how becoming a king hasn't changed who I am. Hey there, how's my favorite mercenary?
The enemy's practically on our doorstep, but you're still taking the time to check on me?
Why not? I'll never be too busy to check on you.
Haha, very funny. So what, you're just being nice?
Not exactly. You didn't get a chance to learn anything even after you met Solon, did you? Yeah, we never got closure after our fight against those who slither in the dark. But now we have to turn our attention to the central church. I figured even you might have trouble moving on from that one.
I'll be honest, I can't stop thinking about it. Who am I, really? It's like the answer is dangling right in front of me, but I just can't reach it.
I'm sorry. I wish I could do more to help you with that.
Don't apologize. It's clear what the priority is right now, even to me. We need to put an end to the church as soon as possible so we can end this war.
You're right. The longer Fodlan remains in turmoil, the more likely it is they'll try something again. We need this war to be over so we're not left vulnerable.
And that means more work for you. I'm fine, see? Now go be important.
All right. But one more thing before I go. This war is going to end, but our fight with those who slither in the dark won't be over when it does. As long as they keep plotting, we'll keep going after them. I'll need your help with that from here on out. Got it?
Of course. You can count on me.
And if it so happens that we do eventually find out who you really are, just know that you'll still be the same person to me. You'll always be you. Remember that.
Thanks, Claude. Same goes for you. Whether you're the leader of the Leicester Alliance, the King, or even the Almiran...
Oh, keep it down. We're not talking about that part yet.